Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. I'm a little late to the game. That's just because I was not feeling well. Nobody in this household was feeling well, but we're here. Today we're going to talk about the Simply Posh Cosmetics Aurora Lights palette. And this, from the packaging, it is so pretty. Like, I've never seen Aurora Lights, but it's definitely on my wish list. And when they send this palette out to me, by the way, this was sent to me in PR. I'm going to do like 2 looks using this palette. I've already swatched this palette, so I'll put it on the screen how this palette looks. But look at the color story, how pretty it is. Like, they have captured the Aurora Lights in a palette so very nicely. We have pinks, purples, blues, greens, even neutrals for that matter, but it is such a beautiful, colorful, cool tone palette. I love the muted tones that Simply Posh Cosmetics put in their palette, and I love the format of the palette where they put lighter tones, deeper tones, and full of duochromes in the center. They've definitely amped up their duochromes, even from the last palette, the Cozy Nights palette. You know how much I love that palette. This definitely seems very, very similar to the quality because I've already swatched this palette. Now, talking about swatches, let me put that on the screen so that you know how beautiful these shifts, the dimension of these shadows are absolutely outstanding. But let me tell you, all these swatched beautifully. I am going to do live swatches for the shimmers of this palette just so that you can see how beautifully it like glimmers and shines. So let's first do that. The first shimmer shade is called Dazzling, and this is like a hot pink shade with a blue shift running, like blue shimmers running throughout it. So you can see that. I can see fuchsia pink to purple blue. I hope you can see that. Again, I do not have any artificial lighting in front of me. I just have like a big window in front of me, and that's how you can see the lights. The next shade is called Electric. This might be my favorite, but let's see. This is a purple. I can definitely see a pinky purple as a base, but it shifts to a beautiful lime green teal blue. It's such a beautiful shade. So you can see that teal blue and the edges. This is how it looks in the palette. Look how beautiful it is. Love the shades that were chosen in this. And they have like a bunch, like they have like, obviously all of them sparkle and shine like crazy. Some have unique like opaque bases, some deeper bases, some lighter bases. The next shade is called Twinkling. Now this is definitely a very unique shadow. It has like a lime yellow green base, but it shifts to a pinky purple blue. And I really hope that you can see the lime yellow green base. Now you can see that blue coming through. Can you see that lime yellow green on the edges? Oh, you can see it. It's so unique and so pretty. Paired up with those greens, it will definitely bring out that green base. Very, very pretty and very unique. Okay, the next shade is called Magical, and this definitely has that green teal, but it shifts to a strong purple blue. There you go. You can see that green. And look at that purple blue. Really, really pretty. Very beautiful shade. The next shade is called Light Show, and this is definitely the opaque base shade that I was talking about. And let's do it here. It's such a beautiful shade for like that olive smoky eye. Can you see the dark base? But it shines so very nicely. Really pretty. So that is Light Show. And last, certainly not the least, we have the shade Aurora. This has a lilac purple base and it shifts to a silvery golden green. Let's do it here. It's on my knuckles. But it'll help to show you the shiftiness, I guess. Can you see that yellow gold? Can you see that purple? Really, really beautiful shades. So those are the shimmers of the palette. No doubt about the mattes. Mattes blend beautifully. They blend amazingly. With the swatch, I am well aware of the Simply Posh Cosmetics shadows. So without further ado, let's move on to the looks. I want to mix and match, but Simply Posh Cosmetics does arrange their shadows very nicely. By the way, it is a magnetic palette, so you can definitely take out the shadows and replace it with the other shadows that you have in your collection. And it also comes with a mirror. So it's a very convenient. If you are confused by the color story, you can straight away go down the column and you can create 6 different looks. Or you can take it like a 6-pan palette and you can combine those 2 columns together and you'll get an amazing look. We are going to just move around the palette so that I can give you more options. So let's begin. Okay, let's start off with this bright shade, the pink shade of the palette. And I'm going to take that on the inner corner or the inner crease of the eye, I must say. And you can see how pigmented that shade is. I do not have any primer underneath. Straight going on the bare eyelid. Really beautiful. Amazing. I love that shine. Okay, let's take this shade, Breathtaking. And I'm going to take that more towards the lower portion of the crease, just to give it a little more depth. There you go. Okay, you can see that difference. Let me just blend through the edges just so that there's no harsh lines. Let's take this green, Captivate, and I'm going to tap off the excess. Apply that on the outer corner. And I'm going to lightly start blending it together. Now that pink and that green is making that blue, tealy blue shade. So I'm going to take this shade, which is Phenomenon. And I'm going to just pair that right in the center, just to melt it all together. Okay, so we have that all across the eyelid. So it's going from that pink to that green. I'm going to take the same thing on my lower lash line. Let's take that green shade, Captivate, and apply that close to the lower lash line and connect it with that upper corner shade. Okay, and then I'm going to take that Breathtaking shade, which is that mauvey pink shade, and connect it with it. Okay, right there. Okay, now for the shimmers, let's put some glitter glue. NYX glitter glue would be perfect. And I'm just going to apply that right on the entire eyelid. Just because obviously we want that shimmers to shine through. I'm also going to take that black Night Sky on the extreme outer corners, but after we apply the shimmers. Okay, so for the shimmers, let's start off with the shade Magical, which is that green to a purple shifting shade. And I'm going to take that right there on the extreme outer corners and blend it with that green. I'm going to take it more on a diagonal format, just because I want that shimmers to talk. For the inner corners, let's take the shade Dazzling. It's a beautiful hot pink shade. And let's start applying that on the inner corners. It'll get a lot of that blue out just because the sparkle. So there you go. Look how beautiful that shade is. Look at the shift. Stunning. Stunning. Okay. Let me take a smaller blending brush. And I'm going to take that shade Aurora, the extreme outer corner shade that has the purple base with gold silver particle. I'm going to put that in the inner corners. And that's a beautiful inner corner shade. And I'm going to take that Phenomenon shade And just blend it down the lower lash line. This would do. Let's do bright. Here. Just to get some brightness out. Let's do surreal. And just blend the edges. Okay, there you go. We have this eye already. Let's go and finish off this with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. Okay, there you go. This is my first eye look. I really love how beautiful these shades blended with each other. I love this effect. Really pretty. I'm going to just deepen out my outer corners, as I told you, with that black. Completely forgot about it. So I'm taking Night Sky. I'm just gonna tap it right there to give some depth. And I love the addition of that black in this palette, just to deepen out anything. Just like that. Can you see that? Oh, I love it. Okay, let's move on to the other eye. I'm going to start from dark to light, because here we went from light to dark. So let's start. Let's start out with this shade, which is Brilliant, this one. And I'm going to take that on the outer corners. Look at the depth. It's so stunning. I love it. I do have a code with Simply Posh Cosmetics, and this is already live. And my code is Smithy to save 10% off. So feel free to use it. If you use my code, I thank you very much. It helps me and my channel a lot. There you go. Look at that. I love it. Let's take this shade, Swirling, which is that lavender matte. And I'm going to take that on the edges of this shade, just so that we have something to fade into. Now for the crease shade, I'm going to take this polar shade, which is that gray. And I'm just going to take that right there in the inner crease and melt it with that purple. You can see that gray, how pigmented that is. And I'm going with like a loose, fluffy brush. This is Angie Hot and Flashy A503 from BK Beauty. Look how stunning that is. I'm going to take the blue. I'm going to take this Vivid shade. And I'm going to take that right there in the inner crease and melt it with that purple. I love the combination of blue and purple together. Look at that. So pretty. Okay, I'm going to take that a little bit of this blue magnetic shade, blending the edges and tapping it right where it meets with each other. Okay, now I'm going to take that the same blue that we used right now, the magnetic shade, the deeper blue, and I'm going to take that on the lower lash line, just to show you how deep that is actually. Look how stunning that is. That's gorgeous. Love it. Okay, for the lower lash line, let's use the shade that we've not used. And I think the only shade that we've not used is Glow. So let's take that. And I'm going to take that on the lower lash line. Inner third of the lower lash line. Just right there. Okay. Oh, love it. Okay. Let's use that NYX glitter glue on the eyelid. Let's take the shade Twinkling. And I'm going to take that actually as a cut crease right here. It's such a beautiful shade. Just for like that glowy effect. With the fingers, it's definitely packing more. Oh, look at that. Oh, love it. Okay. I'm going to move that into this light show shade, which is that olivey green. I don't know if I'm going to spoil it or not. Or should I just stick to that purple? But let's do something. And then finally, I'm going to take that purple shade, Electric. And I'm going to take that on the extreme outer corners, melting it in that purple. Mainly showing green, just because the base is purple. It's getting that green sparkle out of that shade. That's such a beautiful shade. Okay, I'm gonna take that same brush that we used it first in the outer corners. So I'm gonna take this shade, Brilliant, and just melt it down the edges. For the inner corners, let's finish it off with that Twinkling shade. I'm gonna take that in the inner corners right there as a base, and then take that Aurora shade right on top just to brighten it out. Okay, just right there. Okay, let me finish off this eye with some liner or mascara. And that's my second eye look. I love how beautiful and smoky and dark it went here. I really love both the eye looks. It's definitely different, but so cohesive at the same time. I really love it. Let me talk about the shadows in the palette. I've used all the shades in this, both of these eye looks, and I cannot wait to use this even more. I feel like even when you go like down the column, you will get such beautiful eye looks. I definitely cannot wait to test out like this Aurora shade all across the eyelid, as well as this Light Show shade all across the eyelid. That will be so stunning. I'll do that very soon. Just because of the time crunch, I couldn't do this right now. But let me tell you, very happy to inform that all the mattes, all the shimmers went really beautifully in the eyes. And you can definitely see that shifts coming through the eyes. Again, I do not have any artificial lighting, so anything that you see is from the natural lighting. Let me give you a close-up of both the eye looks the final time. I give it a 2 thumbs up from my side. I really love. You need to tell me, out of these 2 eye looks, which one was your favorite? Give a pink heart for this eye and give a purple heart for this eye. I really love it. But that's all for today, guys. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up, and if you are buying this palette, do use the code SMITHY to save 10% off. I'll put it on the screen for you guys. But that's all for today, guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.